Hey man, we need to have an intelligent, by the books debate about something. Yeah, well, you know what? I'm always ready to have a debate with you, guy. So come on, tell me, what is it that you want to debate about today? I am ready to debate you about the LGBT agenda. I am ready to fight. Are you ready to have some knowledge dropped on your face? Look, I'm ready to debate you, but given the fact that you've already started this off by using words like the LGBT agenda, I'm concerned that this debate isn't going to go the way that you think it is, and not because I'm going to agree with you. Listen here, man. I'm going to come at you hard and start off by pointing out that homosexuality ain't natural. It just isn't. So there are a couple of things wrong with that argument. First and foremost, things being unnatural is not a bad thing. Do you think that your cell phone is natural? Come to think of it, do you think that your clothes are natural? Do you think that, like, the shirt that you're wearing just naturally comes into existence? But also, even if this argument were true, it's not. Homosexuality is natural. You're going to need to say more than that to come up with an argument against homosexuality. If you were correct, you would just be stating a thing about homosexuality, not really making an argument for or against it. But also, you're not right. Okay, fine, you got me there, but why is it that children have to learn about these sorts of things at such a young age? Why can't y'all just let kids be kids and not have them be thinking about sexuality? Are you blind to the reality that giving children and giving teenagers a safe, healthy, and supportive environment with which they can explore their sexuality and they can safely and openly express their romantic feelings for one another is in fact a part of letting kids be kids? Because it's a pretty important part. Like, we're not trying to shoehorn in sexuality in age-inappropriate scenes. We're letting children and teenagers know that these feelings are going to start to happen for many of them, but not all of them, at some points, and that that's perfectly healthy and safe to explore, and that that's something that should be supported and something that should be encouraged. It's okay for children to explore these sorts of things, and it's okay for them to be aware of it. Them being aware of it isn't going to jumpstart it for them. It's going to let them know that when they feel it, it's healthy and it's safe, and that's something that's good. And also, did you take off your shirt, cell phone, and glasses for the sake of making a joke? Are you really committed to that whole joke? Because I don't know how long this video is going to be. I understand that, but did you ever consider that maybe there is an age in which it is inappropriate to allow children to be exposed to this kind of learning? Because if you ask me, there is, and it's kind of dangerous, and I'm worried that it could have lasting effects on them. I'm worried that maybe they'll explore sexuality in unsafe ways, including homosexuality. Also, I am as committed to my jokes as your hairline is committed to staying in one place. So don't throw shade and don't break the fourth wall. This video at no point indicated that it's a conversation between one person. First and foremost, given that you're not real, I genuinely don't need that level of accuracy in your shade throwing. Second of all, I really don't need to take this from someone who moved in like the first 3 little video clips that he was in, so cool it. Also, while I understand in good faith your concern about the potential downsides or potential dangers in exposing young children to concepts as difficult and as frustrating for some people to talk about as sexuality, the reality is that exposing children to objective information about sexuality and about the concepts related to sex ed, including reproductive health, does not have a negative effect on them. Overexposing them or exposing them to material that is not objective, that is not fact-based, can have a dangerous effect on them, and that absolutely includes abstinence-based sex education, but that doesn't change the fact that if we're exposing them to accurate, fact-based information, there's nothing wrong with it. I feel as though because I am a thought conjuration conjured by the same person who conjured you, and we are relatively nameless characters, it is easier for me to be especially accurate in my shade throwing, and also my hair is a little bit wild too, because we're played by the same person, because this is a weird way to break the fourth wall. But also, I do not appreciate you implying that I cannot move around. In videos, there's lots of little moments of inconsistencies, and those can often be quite humorous. But you have left me with a lot of valid information, and I will now sit back, I will think on what you have told me, and I will hopefully learn and be better for it. I hope you have a nice day, man. Listen, Thought Conjuration, I really appreciate you having this conversation with me. I appreciate you being willing to listen to what I've got to say and to respect what I've got to say. I appreciate that we can have these little debates, especially because I know that you are just a thought conjuration that is inspired by a time when the maker of this video was less informed, was more ignorant, and was more led by fear than he is the current time. And right now I am an older, more mature thought conjuration that understands more information than you did at the time that you were conjured. So I understand this is kind of unfair and this is a really weird thought experiment, but I appreciate you being here. I love you. Bye. Hey logical listeners, so this was an interesting video, but I wanted to start to sort of look back at my own previously held views on topics like LGBTQ rights and the so-called LGBTQ agenda, which isn't really a thing that exists, but it would basically be the pursuit of equality and of protections under the law from discrimination if it were a thing that actually exists, and not this sort of Hydra-esque anti-Christian, anti-American agenda that many conservative Christians like to pretend is the purpose of LGBTQ activists in activism and in politics. I remember a time in my life when I was not as informed as I am now, and I wanted to explore that in a sort of comedic way and have a conversation with myself. This is definitely a different video. I'm going to be making other videos later on this week that are not this, so don't worry if this wasn't your cup of tea. But also, I genuinely enjoyed having a sort of conversation with my younger self, because a lot of the points that the person in the better shirt than I am wearing right now was making are views that I held in my past, and those were concerns that I held in my past. And I'm happy that I'm now able to explore those ideas in a safe way, and I now know that those ideas were wrong, and I have real reasons for knowing that those beliefs were not only wrong but also dangerous, because those sorts of ideas are not just factually incorrect, they not just don't have a basis in reality, they also harm people, and they make the world a less safe place for LGBTQ people. I thought about exploring other ideas in this video. I thought about trying to talk about like mental health of LGBT people, but I didn't think that would be an appropriate tone with which to do it, because I wanted this video to be more fun and less serious than some of my other videos have been, and because I like making videos that are fun and not as serious. I'm definitely going to be coming back to talk about mental health in the LGBTQ community as someone who is LGBT. I think it's important that there are voices in our community who talk about these sorts of things and who have an objective discussion about them, and who understand that mental health goes beyond whether or not someone commits or tries to commit suicide. And that is an important aspect of it, but that's not the only aspect of it that needs to be explored. I am not dismissing that. I am saying that there is more to mental health than just that. And if we're going to have a conversation about this sort of topic, we should be willing to have one that is more in depth than that, and we have to be conscious of the sort of atmosphere that we choose to have that conversation in, as well as the medium that we choose to have it in. I will talk to you guys later, and I hope that you enjoyed this video.